This is our last hope for an exciting Izzy fight.
It is because the thing is, listen, there is a chance. And here's the thing. Here, I'm going to break down this fight perfectly. Israel Adesanya struggles against guys that are his size, his build, similar reach. And guess what? Not only does he struggle against those guys, hence the Jan Blachowicz fight. Well, and Pereira's even taller than Jan Blachowicz, even rangier, but he's fighting one of the only guys that can literally do the same thing as him. Everyone that fights Adesanya, even Jan, has to resort to trying to trick him, have to doing something special. Pereira can play the exact same game. Pereira doesn't have to step a single foot out of his comfort zone to take on Adesanya. He's going in there for a kickboxing match. The last time they both fought, twice, he beat Israel Adesanya twice. He knocked him out. And guess what? After that, he got even better. Pereira, since the Adesanya fight, when it comes to his striking, has gotten way better. He's beaten stiffer competition in kickboxing since then. He's been a champion in kickboxing since then. And, this is going to be a kickboxing fight with gloves on. We know how big Adesanya's ego is. Okay. We know that he thinks of himself as some anime legend or whatever. And that, he has this massive ego. When he gets in the cage, he's not going to shoot for a takedown. He's not going to grapple. That would be a mental defeat. And guess what? He's going to have to fight Pereira, who is going to feel 100% comfortable, who can go leg kick for leg kick, who can stand out on rage and pick each other apart. And guess what? Two kickboxers, similar level. Adesanya, not that much power. He has decent power, but against Pereira's going to land. And, because it's not going to be that hard for him to land on Adesanya. They're basically the same reach, same height. He's going to land. He's going to knock him out. Yeah. I don't see this fight going any other way. Adesanya could potentially, he's probably quicker. He's probably a little faster. That's his, who knows? Maybe Adesanya comes back with a big nipple, comes back with a couple boobs on the sauce and is able to take big shots and, can rally in the end. But I think he's getting knocked out. And I think I'm leaning 90% towards Pereira. I think Pereira smokes him. I hope Pereira smokes him. I don't see how Adesanya wins this. He's not a good wrestler. He's not a good grappler. His ego's too big to even try that. If he does, it's going to get stuffed. All it takes is one. Yeah. He's going to get fucking rocked. He's going to get knocked out, bro. Straight up. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
I'm so excited.
Like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually convinced that we have the only guy on this planet, aside from guys that are in the bigger weight classes,
or Chimaev,
or Chimaev, the only guy that can absolutely smoke him. All it takes is one hook, done. Yeah. And you saw Adesanya could be out jabbing him. Adesanya could be lighting him up. Adesanya could be winning that fight. Guess what? All it takes is one, and it's gonna land, and he's gonna go out. Adesanya could win the first round. He could win the second. He's gonna get knocked out. He can't be there for 25 minutes striking with Alex Pereira. We saw what happened in their last two fights, and since then, Pereira's gotten way better. It's not like only Adesanya's gotten better. Pereira is a much better kickboxer than he was when they first fought. Much more technical. He was like a noob. They were both young guys back then. Okay. Yeah. Pereira's a fucking beast. And Adesanya is going to be super emotional because, Pereira, when he's asked about Izzy, of course he says he's going to fight him. He's going to knock him out and all that, but he's relatively respectful. He's like, I hope Adesanya does well so we can have this fight. He's not really thinking about Izzy all that much. If you ask Izzy a question, he'll shut you down. He'll say, You're no one to talk to me. I'm a legend, mate. You're no one to talk to me. Just get in your place. Watch the first few fights. Well, listen, we all saw the first few fights. He's always saying the first few fights I was doing well. You got knocked out, son. And guess what? You're going to get knocked out again. So Adesanya is so emotionally invested. He's so uptight. His ego is going to be going through the roof. He's not going to have a good game plan. He's going to go in there emotional, trying to prove a point, and he's going to get clipped by the dude that you don't want to get clipped by. He's going to get clipped by the most dangerous striker, probably maybe in the UFC, maybe aside from some of these heavyweights. Bro, Alex Pereira the fucking power in that left hook is ungodly. It's ridiculous. And I just I don't care how tough you are. I don't care if you can roll with a shot. Adesanya, you get hit by that, it's done.
It's literally a sledgehammer, you know?
Sledgehammer, bro.
Like,
So now
also,
that I think about it, I'm actually excited.
I just wanted to add a quick note to that. Um, Pereira was on, I don't know if you know this, but
Ariel
nobody
Hawani.
really knows this, but he was dealing with a lot of like alcohol, like he was an alcoholic apparently. He's
Back
dealing with
then.
a hard time in his life when he was fighting Izzy, and he fought Izzy the second time on 1 week notice.
And now he's more mature.
Now he's more mature. He seemed to figure his stuff out. He has improved. I would say he's improved more than Izzy in the striking department. Like when you get to the UFC, like I know he's still focusing on his striking, but he's been over the years, I'm sure, focusing more on his like takedown defense, rest, stuff like that. Pereira's been was focusing on kickbox, was still focusing on kickboxing. I know, and then like the last like 2 years, he started focusing more on the wrestling aspect. But for like multiple years, when Izzy was in the UFC, Pereira was still working on his striking, and there's only one way Izzy wins. There's literally one way Izzy wins, and it's not from outputting him. It's him getting on the sauce again. That's the only chance, and coming in with Gyno,
Dude, I
that's the only
swear
chance
it
he has
has
to
to
win.
be. It has
Gyno
to be.
Izzy is the only that is his only option of winning.
Pretty much.
The Izzy who fought Costa comes in,
Yeah.
he has a chance, but if not,
Even then,
no way.
it's a chance he doesn't, because like again, I just he's gonna be so emotionally invested. All the pressure's on him. You know, Pereira's in his head rent free. Pereira knows I've knocked him out. I can knock anyone out on this planet. I can be patient. I can plod. I can take my time. All I need is one left hook and it's over. And again, Izzy is the same size, the same reach. And when Izzy can't rely on that massive long reach and he can't rely on that range, he doesn't do as well. And it just he doesn't do as well. Simple as. And he's not going to do as well. I mean, Jan Blachowicz is a great kickboxer. He's got good striking. He outstruck Adesanya, and he's nowhere near the level of Pereira.
Definitely
So
not. Definitely not.
I mean, and he had to rely on his grappling a little bit. Adesanya's got good defensive grappling. You know, I don't see Adesanya spending his whole training camp on his offensive wrestling. Maybe that would give him a good chance to win, you know, to trick Pereira a little bit. But even then, he's not a wrestler. He's not gonna learn how to be an offensive wrestler in a few months. I hope he doesn't pull out. And also, I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not even gonna say it.
All right, all right.
I
But
was about to say, I listen. I'll just make it. I'll make an innuendo. I hope that something. I hope that this fight doesn't end because of some weird reason. You know what I mean? Like I hope no one gets. I hope the fight doesn't end due to a unfortunate reason.
okay, yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree. I'd agree. Speaking of UFC 281, Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler is booked. I am beyond excited for this fight. The
dude,
fight
I can't
people
wait.
wanted, the fight the fighters wanted. Like there was some real tension going on with them. And yeah, I'm like, very excited for the fight, and I'm really like curious for if it's going to be a 3 rounder or a 5 rounder.
It'll be a five, I think.
Oh,
I think
really?
five
So
rounder. Yeah,
that changes everything, honestly. Because in a 3 rounder, I'd probably
Chandler could
take
win that
Chandler, but for a 5 rounder, I'd take Poirier without a doubt. I think
without a
Chandler
doubt.
will have his moments early on, but as the fight goes on, Poirier tends to get better. And I think
Yeah.
just as the fight goes on, I think Poirier will just we'll just start piecing him up, and Chandler will just start gassing out. And I think Poirier will probably finish him late in the fight, maybe like the fourth or
What do
fifth.
you think Chandler's path to victory is in general?
There's not much. I don't think that it's to finish
You
either.
think what if he wrestles and makes that his number one and does not spend time on the striking? I don't see it happening because Chandler always wants to be like he always wants to blow the roof off of the building. He's in there to entertain, which is why we love him.
Yeah.
But like you know, I don't see him. He's doesn't have the best fight IQ.
Yeah, no, I mean, in most,
Poirier's got pretty good fight IQ.
yeah, in most of Chandler's fights, he could probably win if he just starts
Yeah.
wrestling. But like he wants to be entertaining, which we love. We
Yeah.
respect. We love Chandler. We love Chandler here at MMA Dynasty.
Yeah.
But I don't think that will be good for him against a guy like Poirier, one of the best boxers in the UFC, one of the best brawlers overall in the UFC. He turns it up as the fight goes on, as we saw in the Hooker fight, the Holloway 2 fight. Poirier is an absolute savage. We love him here too. Puts
Yeah.
on a good show every
Two of
single
the pound for
fight.
pound most entertaining fighters in the
For
UFC.
sure, for sure. Like Chandler, Poirier, both those guys are super entertaining. So we're in for a real treat. I just think Chandler's Vic has two ways to win this fight. The first is just to do the wrestling. Poirier isn't the best wrestler, but I don't think Chandler's going to be doing that. And the second way is just getting him out early. And I don't. Poirier's got a good chin, man, and like he doesn't get hit much. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think once Poirier gets out of the first 2 rounds, first 3 rounds, he's going to just dominate.
Yeah,
Honestly,
he's
I think.
gonna if this fight goes into the later rounds, Poirier is gonna destroy him. Chandler doesn't have the best gas tank. He also doesn't have the best chin. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been dropped so off. You go dropped by Tony Ferguson, knocked out a bunch of times in Bellator, dropped by Justin Gaethje all over the
Charles.
place. Like he's that equalizer that he has comes at a cost. He doesn't have the best chin, and Poirier hits hard. He doesn't have that one punch knockout power, but he hits hard, and his boxing is very good. Chandler doesn't have the best boxing. He relies heavily on his power. He's not the most technical striker either.
No.
The reason why his striking is so successful is because he's so powerful.
Strong, you know? He's a
Yeah.
strong guy. He like, but I'm very excited for this fight. We
That,
actually
that,
like,
that to me is just as good as
oh,
Gagey Chandler. That's literally like the same, interchangeable.
I would say this is going to be better just because it's a
I
five.
think it's going to be better.
Yeah, which is
5 rounds.
crazy because that fight was
That was
one of
amazing.
the best fights.
This could be fight of the
Best
year.
fights ever. What?
This could be fight of the year.
Yeah, this for sure could be fight of the year, and I'm looking forward to it. But